We've come to Dearborn, a suburb of Detroit, which is sometimes called America's most Muslim town, to find out what Arab Americans are thinking about in this election, at a time of an ongoing genocide against the Palestinians and, of course, the invasion of Lebanon by Israel. While we were in the air from San Francisco, Trump rolled through town and went to a halal restaurant called the Great Commoner. Our producer, Jonah Brevman, was already here, and he caught some of the vibe coming out of that cafe.
What do you think Trump offers you and the country at large?
It's pretty obvious. Jobs, wants to bring the money here, secure borders, right? Wants to bring the money to America and not give the money to China and every other country in the world. He's not a sellout.
What threat do you think, as you said, the former president poses to the country?
Fascism.
He wants to stop all violence in the Mideast, Israel and Palestine, and no more violence. There's been way too many innocents gone. No wars with Trump.
Muslims, he passed 3 Muslim bans. He got elected 2026, so basically not even a year after he was in office, he started trying to ban Muslims to come into America.
He puts the cards right on the table. Right on the table, dealt. You know where you stand, the enemy knows where he stands, and we know where we stand.
Who would you say is the enemy in this situation?
The enemy in the situation, the media, the left-wing media.
We're big Trumpsters over here. We love Trump. Yeah, why you get so close to me for? I don't want my kids to grow up trans.
Okay. I don't want my kids to grow up trans either. Listen.
That's what I'm saying.
See, here's the thing you gotta understand is that we have more in common than what divides us. We all want police. We all want good schools. We all want streets, right?
Exactly, right?
Okay, so what? So why are you coming at me?
Because you guys are with the devil.
Joe Biden said that all Trump supporters are garbage.
Here we are, we're garbage people.
Yep, Joe Biden said that.
We're
So,
garbage.
the American people.
Garbage.
Dude, I love you. I want to see you and your family do good, right? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's the difference. You want to see me do bad. You think I'm the devil. You call me the devil. You don't even know who I am.
Kamala's the devil, I
You
said.
don't even know who I am.
Kamala's the devil, not you.
Okay.
I don't know you.
Yeah, that's what
But you could quite possibly be on some devil shit, because the people that support Kamala,
I mean, listen,
they
everyone
want all
could
that
be.
transphobia shit going on. We're good on that.
I think there's only one person here afraid of gay people.
I am. It's me, that's what I'm saying. We're afraid of the gays. Get them out of here.
I don't have fear in my heart. Sorry, man.
Later yesterday, Trump also did a rally in a place called Warren, which is another suburb of Detroit, and our producer Jonah went there as well.
Another happy customer, $5 hats. I'm selling them cheap because I'm already rich.
The main thing we want to get out of today, however, is to see how it is that Muslim Americans, who of course care so deeply about the genocide happening in Gaza, can really fuck things up for Democrats in this state. Members of the Uncommitted movement, a movement inside the Democrats to oppose the election of Harris, although exactly what that means apart from Trump in a two-party system isn't really quite clear, would argue that the Arab American constituency is a natural Democrat constituency foolishly lost by Harris. Although the reality on the ground is a bit more complex. What we want to find out today is whether or not the Democrats can convince Muslim Americans that after they're elected, they might magically do some sort of 180 on the question of the Gaza genocide. We're here in downtown Dearborn, where just up there, the Harris campaign refused to speak to us, and just down here, the Great Commoner cafe, where Trump appeared yesterday, we were told absolutely no journalist, absolutely no filming, can't talk to anyone at all. So no comments all round, very much locked down. So it's up to us to walk these streets and find out what the local residents are saying.
The recent election's been stirring up a lot of controversy here. Yeah.
What's been the splits inside people around
you? A lot of people voting green.
Including yourself?
Yeah, including myself.
Tell us about your rationale there. What's going on?
Just don't want to support candidates that are supporting genocide. That simple.
They have to put the U.S. flag higher.
On this one, we've got the U.S. flag and the Turkish flag mixed.
I think that would probably
the U.S. flag is higher.
Yeah, that's a figurative thing. It's like poetry or license. But where you have a very specific U.S. flag, you need it to be above the Turkish flag.
Yeah. Why does that matter to you personally? Apart from just being the law, like what do you think is at stake in that?
Well, it's about patriotism. It's about, right, we all are Americans, regardless of what our knowledge is. Right, we're all Americans. We have to respect each other as Americans, but that is, it's about respect. Where's your journalism based?
We're in the UK. So
Whereabouts in the UK?
London,
Where?
Novara Media.
Number one fan.
Yeah, Novara. I just researched it yesterday.
Trump was the funniest thing that came to England because to them it means flatulence. And that sort of went up into thin air as well because people have forgotten already. Don't they still say that in the UK?
It's sort of slightly archaic, but it does.
Yeah,
it does
because
get
over
said,
the past 4 years, Trump has come to mean something else.
She's right about that American flag. It does need to be higher. That is a law, actually. But it doesn't grind my shorts that much.
It doesn't grind your shorts?
It doesn't grind my shorts that much. One thing I do like about Trump is his art of the deal of having a destroyer ship and not having to use it.
There is an ongoing war in the Middle East.
Yes.
And Trump's strategy in that case of deterrence doesn't seem to be really applicable because the war is already happening.
Yes.
Right? How do you understand that as part of like the race? What's going on there for you?
Oh, for me, I don't think I know enough about it. I know on October 7th it was started. I don't know why it was started on October 7th, but it's been nothing but a bloodbath since. And now you got Iran totally targeted on Israel, and it's never gonna stop for years. This has been going on for thousands of years. But I know that it will be weakened when Trump's in office. There is no doubt in my mind.
Iran will be weakened.
Yes, this whole conflict over there on both sides will be weakened. Will cease, dramatically cease, if he's in office. There's no doubt about it.
The bloodbath going on since October the 7th has been enormous.
Yeah.
What are you seeing about that? What comes into your your worldview?
So when soldiers die, that's one thing. That's misfortunate. But when the babies and the women and innocent men die, it's beyond comprehension. And casualties of war. You take one bad guy out with 9 children dying for it. My God, that can't be worth it. It can't be worth it to take one person out and 9 babies.
Yeah.
No way, or innocents and the mothers and all that. I see this stuff every day on the news. It makes me sick so much.
Yeah.
So much.
There is one thing we decide.
There is one thing we decide.
No votes for genocide.
No votes for genocide.
No votes for genocide.
No votes for genocide.
Do you mind talking to us about why you're here?
Here for Palestine, for a free Palestine, hopefully. I'm voting for Jill Stein because I can't believe in any of the 2 candidates and I don't think they're going to do anything better for us. So we want a free Palestine and a good future ahead.
What will happen if you vote Jill Stein? What will happen next?
What will happen next? I mean, we're hoping to make the world a better place and provide it in the right direction.
How are you going to organise beyond this election? So this is happening in a couple of days, but you need to have a longer term movement.
100%.
Yeah.
We all need to work together to create a better future. And so the only way that we're going to make a difference is together. The more people we have out here, the bigger difference we're going to create.
Somehow a recurring character, Joe. You're back.
Of course.
Are you always walking your dog?
Always. I got 9 dogs. That's why there's a lot of walking. A lot of walking.
And what were you just shouting to this demonstration?
No, I want to know how is it supposed to end, though? How is that conflict supposed to end?
I guess the first thing that happens they want is an arms embargo against Israel, the stopping of weapons being sent to kill the kids you were talking about earlier. I mean, we had this conversation, right? That's what they want to happen, and then from there, I guess there is a negotiated settlement.
Man, you got to have Trump because nothing going to happen with him. It's called preventive maintenance. They respect him because they ain't going to do shit to him. That's just as simple as that.
Well, they're not going to do. They're not
going
to do shit to him, right? But they're going to carry on massacring the Palestinians.
Yeah, no, they're not. You have to.
That made the biggest peace deal with the Israelis, giving them the entirety of Jerusalem. That is who Trump is. And Trump isn't any better than Kamala, I'll just say that. They're both equally evil. They are both equally evil.
Obama is a useless piece of shit. Trump
They're both
means
useless
something.
pieces of shit.
No
Trump
way.
is just here
No,
for
sir.
his money. Trump is a
They're
fucking
They're not nuts, sir.
Trump literally hands you fucking Nazi.
Trump.
You fucking Nazi.
Fucking crazy.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking fascist.
How about you come over here naked, brother? Actually, I don't know what you are.
I don't know what you are.
Fascist shit. Yeah, you're fucking Nazi. Fuck you.
Are you fucking crazy? You fuckers act like fucking Nazis. You act like a fucking Nazi.
Our community is operating based on a continuous trauma. Whether like someone like me who lived the Israeli war on Lebanon in my childhood and during my teenager years, or whether with family member who've been here but they have direct connection in Lebanon or Palestine. We cannot neglect that or disconnect from this generational trauma or even personal trauma that continue to have. So normally Muslim American or Arab American, they make their decision on who they want to vote for based on domestic issues and some external affair issues. But right now, the genocide is still continuing. It's not like something happened in the past and get some time for people to reflect and make choices solely on domestic issues. Domestic issues definitely matter to Muslim and Arab American voters. But the way how I see also thinking about choices for who they want to vote for when it comes to Arab American and Muslim American, thinking about what's happening in the Middle East is not just an external or foreign affair issue, because you want to think about it domestically from economic point of view.
When the United States has sent $20 billion to Israel over the past year, but the average American can't get health care, lives paycheck to paycheck, this is going to bother them a lot. And a lot of the imaging come out of Gaza, they're haunting. And you have even Americans who aren't Arab or Muslim saying this has to stop. That's why you have, I saw polling in the Gallup polling, between 18 through 29-year-olds, you got 52% of Republicans want an arms embargo in Israel, and 62% of Democrats want an arms embargo in Israel. And this is just amongst people, not politicians.
We have this impression, or at least the Uncommitted movement, which is largely based out of Dearborn, has given this impression that Arab Americans were a sort of natural Democrat constituency, and then it was sort of lost by Harris and lost by Biden. Mm-hmm. But there's a longer history here, right? There's a longer sort of pre-war and terror history of the Arab American community actually voting for the Republicans. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so like for an example, when you had widespread Arab immigration here, you had a lot of Arab Americans and Muslim Americans support the Republican Party. But that's because the Republican Party back then actually had a very moderate, somewhat even humanizing tones towards Arabs and Palestinians. I mean, like for an example, Ronald Reagan instituted some harsh sanctions on the Israelis for the bombing of South Lebanon, and also got Menachem Begin to start the bombing of South Lebanon. So that's one of those things that catalyzed it. But as the Republican Party started to go into the 90s, we started to see like these very hawkish neoconservative rhetoric. And when 9/11 happened, unfortunately, it was Arab and Muslim Americans that bore the brunt of it. Islamophobia became rampant here. And the GOP adopted that Islamophobia. And although Bush Jr. did not necessarily say many horrific things about Arab Americans, he instituted the Patriot Act. And that allowed for the mass surveillance of Arab Americans and Muslim Americans of mosques, their homes, wiretapping their phones. And seeing how we were ostracized, this is what moved Arab Americans and Muslim Americans from the political right to the political left. And now, 20 years later or so, after the neocons took office, the Republicans, and ushered in the war on terror and went into Iraq, it is now the Democratic Party that's behaving in this very hyper-militaristic manner and dehumanizing Arab Americans, Muslim Americans, and single-handedly funding this genocide in Gaza. And this is now prompting members of our community to say, no more, never again. There has to be electoral consequences for genocide, and that is why you're starting to see the Arab and Muslim vote here in Michigan, particularly in Dearborn, say, we'll explore the political avenues. We're not married to the Democratic Party.
So the Americans are caught in between this evil and lesser evil. And the only argument is who is the lesser evil. and everyone has forgotten the greater good, as if it is inevitable that we have to always pick the lesser evil. Among the thousands and thousands of issues that affect our life, we are only allowed to talk about 3 or 4 talking points of the what the party choose to talk about. So the Green Party, for example, which is prominent in Europe, the Green Party has been active. It's not like we have to invent it from scratch. There has been a movement, and the Green Party is one of the parties that is spearheading the movement to break the duopoly, to change the American system, to have more representation. You know, we kept moving with the lesser evil, pushing the left to the right, and now we have almost 2 rights that are competing in an election with an illusion, what I consider really an illusion of a democracy.
What do you say to those people who are still in the Democrat camp, who think that, you know, Trump will be even worse on Gaza? He has said that, you know, Netanyahu can do whatever he wants. He's encouraged him to annex the West Bank. What do you say to people who say the only real choice is between Harris and Trump, and that you can wish for a different world, but really those are your 2 options, and that, you know, you should prefer Harris to Trump? What do you think to that idea?
Unfortunately, and I'm going to quote our mayor on that, the Dems, their unwillingness to stop funding and enabling a genocide is what created a space for Trump and Trump supporters to infiltrate our community. And this is what I stand for, and I stand by, because unfortunately the Democrat on the presidential level did not give voters enough to support them. And when you run for an office, no matter what's the office, it's on you to do the job and convince voters to vote for you. You don't blame voters who didn't vote for you and you didn't deliver to them for your loss.
People we've spoken to today have been telling us that they're going to vote for the Green Party. But at the same time, another alleyway is, of course, Trumpism. How has it been possible for the memory of Trump's Muslim ban to evaporate so quickly?
That's an excellent question. So you have to blame the Democratic Party genuinely, because this should be a slam dunk for Kamala Harris. Right? All she had to do was engage with our community, humanize us, discuss an arms embargo, meet with uncommitted, gave us a Palestinian speaker, and put forth a policy to end this horrific genocide in Gaza, in this horrific war that's now spilling over into South Lebanon, that is now going to put the United States security apparatus in a tough position to try to fend off a broader regional war. Kamala Harris has engaged in Cheneyism, as we call it. She's touted endorsements from Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, and both of them were the architects of the war in Iraq and many of those neoconservative policies I talked about. So Trump is really able to hit on those weaknesses with this very broad and diverse Arab and Muslim community here. And they're somewhat gravitating towards his message. Some are very hesitant to embrace him because of the Muslim ban. But the reason why you're starting to see increased support for Trump is not only because he's going after Kamala Harris's policies and kind of embracing Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, is also because it seems that Trump, whether it be for his own reasons or because maybe he cares, but probably not, he's more willing to meet with Arab Americans. He was just here at the Great Commoner. He was in Hamtramck. He met with Mayor Ahmed Khalib. He's talking to him about family values, which is something that Arab Americans in the city care about. He's talking to him about ending the war in the Middle East very broadly. He doesn't really have any idea how to, obviously, which is a significant problem, but that's what the community wants to hear. And Kamala Harris has not allowed for that to happen.
In our community, for some reason, Trump has succeeded with all his tactics. He's been bombarding this community for the last 6 months until he got some response. And there's a lot of money being put here. I have a friend who was offered $100,000 for endorsement of. They do this indirectly, you know, of Trump. I'm sure there are a lot of money being spent in the community to push it towards Trump. And also he's, you know, he's come, he's visited Dearborn, he's visited Detroit, he's visited Hamtramck, has brought the few imams that I've seen for the first time come on stage. He's done his trophy Muslim show. So he's done, while Muslims were not even allowed in the convention of Harris. So she deserves to lose Michigan to Trump among the Muslim American vote.
I'm in a position now, because we're operating out of trauma, I'm someone who lived the Israeli war. Actually, my entire family, we're torn in different countries. One of my sisters, she's in UK. The other one, she's in Brazil. My parents just got evacuated 10 days ago. This is my first time where my dad said, I feel we're never going back home. You think I wasn't hoping to be organizing for the first woman to become president of the United States? I wish, but that's not gonna happen and it's not like we're only operating out of trauma and living the war and escaping the war, but also we feel betrayed. As Muslim Arab who historically not only voted for Democrat but also organized for Democrat, we feel betrayed.
It's deeply disgusting for both political parties to think that it's okay to justify this imperialistic worldview of U.S. foreign policy built upon the bloodshed of Arabs. We are not dogs. We are not human animals. We are not children of a lesser God. We don't breathe differently than any of the other people in this world, and we demand a foreign policy that treats our people as such.
Over the years post 9/11 and post Trump in 2016, I'm one of the people who only became politically active in 2016. This is our way of existing, is to be civically engaged and make difference for our community and make difference truly with decision making. I don't wish at all we disengage. No, I want to see my community working and continue to be engaged to get to a level where we're more listened for and we're not less American than others.
So tonight in Dearborn there is an event that we're attending. It's at this restaurant called the Sheba, which is owned by a Yemeni family that's backing Trump, and it's a UFC MMA fight watch party. So we're here to find out what might be drawing some Muslim Americans towards the right. Is it Trump's foreign policy, or might it be other things as well? How is Trump going to get peace?
Trump's going to get peace because he knows how to negotiate. If you read all of his books, he's a businessman. He knows exactly what needs to be done. Like I say, he's done it before. He does play hardball. He's not a politician. He is a hard-working American that is doing this for the sake of our people. I mean, he has more money that you can think of. And don't look at his character, look at his policies. When you're able to look at that, he gets things done. And I personally, I truly appreciate that.
Thanks.
You know what? Can I have one? Can I have one? Yeah, it looks good.
It does look good.
Good, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Tell me about the genetics. You were talking about genetics.
Oh no, the genetics, man. If you're a man, you're a man. There shouldn't be. Oh, I'm a they, the. I'm a she man. You gotta, because what happens is you'll start pedophilia, man, and that's what.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, dude. It should not be like that. It should not be like that. That's all I gotta say. It's sickening. It's horrible, and we gotta fix our country, and we gotta continue to keep make America great again.
This guy's friend has just given me a Buzz Gusher. What am I about to take?
You gotta ask him. I know that it's 6 milligrams, way better than Zyn, only in the U.S.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna try and do this interview.
You're gonna feel good.
Yeah, let's go. Do I put it underneath her turn? Yeah, here we go. There was a contradiction you were talking about earlier. Attention. On the one hand, you're persuaded to vote Trump. You seem like Trump would be the best candidate for Americans.
For Americans.
On the other hand, you're also Palestinian.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
So we have a really tough election coming up.
All right. I think for America and American citizens, Trump is really good for us. As a small business owner, his policies and what he stands for morally, all around, aligns with a lot of things that we align with. The only issue is that we're American citizens who are Muslim, Palestinian, so a lot of our, how do I say this? A lot of what we have to stand by is going to be Palestine. So when you have a candidate who, here's the thing about Trump, he said that he's going to stop the wars, which sounds awesome, but he's also said that he's going to back Israel up to complete their job, which right now their job seems like it's been just killing 40,000 children and moving forward. So the only problem is you have these two candidates, and then you have the Green Party, which we should vote for, who support us. The problem is we know that the Green Party is not going to win. Yeah. So we're just kind of on tilt. You know, Kamala, we know, is going to support Israel as well, and her policies don't really align with us morally. Her views, her morals in regards to, you know, everything in society doesn't align with us. Trump aligns with us. He's a family man, and his traditions are really close to our traditions.
Yeah, what we've been seeing has been really despicable in Gaza, right? Like just horrifying scenes. How does it make you feel as a Palestinian American over here to see that stuff daily on TV? How do you feel when you see this? What does it do to your community?
No, that's a really good question. The only thing I would take out of that is Palestinian. I mean, as a human, I'm a father of 2 children. I got one on the way. My daughter, she's 3 years old, and you know, I'm always scrolling on Twitter, I'm always scrolling on Instagram, and you see these videos of these kids who are the same age as your kids, and they're in the rubble, they're dying, and it seems like no one's being impacted. They're watching. It's like we've gotten so used to it. So, as a Palestinian American, it's I mean, honestly, it just tears my heart. I think about my kids every time I watch those videos, and that's really what kills me.
Trump for peace is the slogan that we saw on this guy's t-shirt. Do you believe that he does have a path to peace? That strikes me as a bit unlikely, to be fair. Is that what you think?
I mean, look, I don't believe, it's not about what I believe, but I mean, his track record shows we weren't in any wars when he was in as a president.
But he increased the settlements on the West Bank.
Absolutely, and so did every other president candidate coming up. Look, that's the problem. Yeah. You know, people don't realize if he comes in, or if Kamala comes in, both of them, to be honest with you, they're both going to support Israel, and they're going to keep expanding settlements. They're going to keep killing kids. They're going to keep these wars on, and fucking hell, excuse my language.
You can talk.
What's the number? Do you know the number that they sent out to Israel?
The American troops?
Biden, yeah. How much did he send?
It's like 1,000 or something?
No. I'm talking about billions of dollars.
Oh, 100 billion? Give me the number.
Too many B's. I don't know what the number is. I think it's like 100 billion. I was reading an article, and it was talking about Hurricane Helene and how much it would cost to repair everything going on here in the fucking States. If you took that money, you could end homelessness in America. You could fix up any problem with Helene would have been. They didn't even look at Helene, and they're saying they're sending billions of dollars out to fucking Israel. And here's the problem: is like you say America first. I mean, we're not even seeing it here in our own country. It seems like a fucking game.
It's 11:30. Back in the hotel room. Got the insane Trump attack adverts on TV. Also, some of the insane Harris attack adverts on TV. What have we learned? This is an agonized community. It's a community of Arab Americans who, in the part of their identity that's about being an American, feel a deep, deep need to engage with the American political process. It's a traumatized community. That's the word that people have used again and again to describe it. It's also a very normal community, right? It's not a marginalized community. It's pretty affluent. We've rarely felt more welcome. If this is the Middle East, as people in the Wall Street Journal have written, America's jihadi capital, they said of Dearborn, then it's combined with the Midwest in a very serious way. It's almost impossible not to sympathize with those people who want to reject the two-party system that has legitimated and on both sides has pushed forward and accelerated this genocide and called for it to go further even still. At the same time, what we've seen today almost certainly presages a Trump victory. in Michigan. I would say that's a pretty likely thing at the moment. And what that means for the genocide is almost certainly further acceleration, a deepening despair on the part of the Palestinians. Tomorrow we're on our way to attend a Harris rally, the only person anyone seriously believes could change her mind about this, change her mind about the Americans arming the Israelis. And it's incumbent upon us to put the concerns and the agony of people we've spoken to here to those supporters and possibly to Harris herself.